Welcome to another epic installment of the Hot Seat, sponsored by MNL and partnered by Gemcon Consultancy, your solutions to town planning and construction. And in this episode, we were covering the Harare Volleyball Association Congress, which happened here at Mukushi Police Academy. And today, it was the tabling of the amendments of the constitution of the Harare Volleyball Association and also the elections of the new executive. But to join me later will be the Zimbabwe Volleyball Association Secretary General to give us an update of what transpired in the Congress. Stay tuned. Welcome again to this episode of the Hot Seat, and now I am joined by the Zimbabwe Volleyball Association Secretary General Enias Kondo to give us an update of what transpired in the Congress of the Harare Volleyball Association. We welcome you to this program, Secretary General.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, today it was the Congress for HVA, and there were two issues on the table. That was the amendments of the Constitution and also the elections. Can you take us through of what happened in the Congress?
All right, thank you very much. Yes, this was a duly procedural event where we are supposed to have a Congress every 4 years. Whenever we close a quadrennial, we have a Congress whereupon we're able to do constitutional amendments. We're also able to do elections. So in terms of the amendment of the Constitution by the Harare Volleyball Association, several matters were tabled before the House, but they then also realized that most of the items needed more time for the House to dissect. So what then happened was that they resolved. In fact, they put in a resolution that 30 days from today, they're going to have an extraordinary Congress to go through with the constitutional amendments, because now there was need for more research and more understanding of the clauses enshrined there for further dissection. And then we also moved on to elections. The Constitution provides that we have elections in 2 cycles over 2 consecutive years. One during a Congress like this, and then also 12 months later during an elective AGM. So today the posts that were up for election were for that of the chairperson, the Secretary General, the Treasurer, and committee members. We had Mr. Chris Chivimge and Mr. Shadrach Chinembiri contesting for the position of chairperson, and Mr. Shadrach Chinembiri was duly elected after garnering 19 votes to 5 that were garnered by Mr. Chivinge. We also had election for the position of Secretary General, where Mr. Stephen Charakupa was contesting against Mr. Erasmus Mpukuta. Mr. Stephen Charakupa was duly elected with 18 votes against 6 for Mr. Erasmus Mpukuta. We also had one committee member who was elected unopposed, and that is Mr. Garwe. So what is going to happen now is the association has got 2 other posts which remain vacant. Those will be dealt with by way of co-option by the executive committee member. By the executive committee, and then 12 months from today, we are going to have elections for the positions of first chairperson and also second vice chairperson, and then gender minority committee members. Back to you.
Thank you, Secretary General. But we understand that the Harare Volleyball Association had wanted to hold elections for all the positions, but later on holding elections for the chairperson and the Secretary General. Can you update us on what happened for them to hold only 2 other than the rest of the team?
All right, thank you. I would like to thank the House for abiding by its constitution, because previously on one of the gatherings there had been sentiments that maybe the the Congress might as well just occupy all the positions for different reasons. But then the House then agreed that no, the Constitution overrides everything. So they decided to go by what the Constitution dictates, and then after that they also allow the executive to co-opt members for the next 12 months, and then they fill all the positions.
Thank you, Secretary General, for joining us, and we shall meet again in other circles.
All right, thank you very much, sir.
That was the Secretary General of the Zimbabwe Volleyball Association giving us an update on what transpired in the Harare Volleyball Association Congress. Stay tuned for another segment.
Okay, so I'm here with the newly elected SG for Harare Volleyball Association, Mr. Steven Charakupa, who won by a landslide, 18 votes to 6, against Mr. Erasmus Mpukuta. So first of all, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay, so how did you feel about this new responsibility? As someone who has taken it before, and now this is your second term, not consecutive, but then you're coming into the office for the second time. How do you feel?
I feel greatly honored by the trust bestowed upon me by the clubs. I'll continue from where I left off about 6 years ago, and I've learned a lot during my previous tenure of office, even during the last committee's tenure of office. There were many challenges which they faced, and I hope to improve on what challenges they faced. I hope we are going to improve our working relations with SRC, ZVA, and all other sporting bodies which have to do with volleyball, such as Zikosu, Zinasu. I hope we are going to work together in terms of all volleyball activities within Harare Metropolitan Province.
Oh, okay. Some wise words. Okay, so I don't really have a lot of questions for you, but my main concern, judging from what we witnessed in the elections there were a lot of issues concerning the constitution. Like, there were a lot of loopholes in there and things that need to be ratified. Do you have a solid plan right now, or you're going to have to sit down with the executive and come up with a plan to make sure that all those errors you will get rid of them?
As agreed during the Congress, a timeline has been set, which is about 30 days from now. I think on the 11th of May, all the clubs and stakeholders are going to reconvene so that we make all the necessary constitutional amendments. But remember, the constitutional amendments have to be done, and you have to conform to the senior bodies such as ZVA and SRC, which is the National Sports Governing Board. So whatever we are going to do, we will not run away from the superior bodies, like I said. I think from there we'll be able to align ourselves to the ZVA Constitution and the SRC, and then we cannot. In order for us to be recognized, we have in order for us to be recognized as an association, we have to be in good books with SRC and ZVA. I think for now that is all I can say. And then as we go along, you will see the necessary constitutional amendments.
Okay. I think that is all that I have for you today. Thank you for your time, Mr. Charakupa, and I hope and I wish you a fruitful tenure. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Okay. Okay, so here I have with me the newly elected chairman of the Harare Volleyball Association, Mr. Shadrack Chinembiri. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Cole.
And I just want to say congratulations on the new posts. And I want your raw, unfiltered reaction to this. Don't try to be diplomatic or professional. How did you feel about the win?
I feel good. I think it's great when you know that you have majority support, because I think you can tell from the result that the support was quite overwhelming. It gives hope that once you get into place, you have support of the majority, which I believe is very, very important for us to take Harare volleyball forward. So at this moment, I would say I'm ecstatic. I'm happy. I'm very, very happy. Yeah.
That's good. Okay, so I was a little taken aback during the election, because on the road to the elections, like, there were a lot of people saying, who is Shadrack Chinembiri? Atimuzive ndiani akamboite volleyball. But then all of a sudden we see a landslide win, 19-5.
I think okay, to be honest, a lot of the things which I had been participating in volleyball, I tended to take a back seat. I really had no intentions. This time last year, for example, I had no intentions whatsoever to think I would be running for chairmanship of Harare Volleyball. But I think over time people started talking to me, because I think you are aware, I was vice chairman of the Social Wellness Volleyball League. Yeah. I was also chairman of CPZ Volleyball. So I believe probably people saw something which I had done well, and decided that I could be the right person to take Harare Volleyball forward. So eventually, when the push came, say, can you please put your hand up, eventually I then agreed. So in terms of people not knowing me, yes, I expected that, because like I said, when it came to Harare Volleyball, I didn't participate much. I was more on the social league side. Yeah. But I think you are aware the social league is part of Harare Volleyball. I'm part of the NAPA support. I'm also part of the NAPA committee. So I think people just saw me as a supporter when I was at the courts. Nobody really knew that I would have any interest in taking up an administrative role.
Oh, okay. So in terms of the start of your duty, do you have, like, people usually, maybe, let's say, like, for example, US presidents, they have what is called a 100-day plan, exactly. Yeah. Do you have something like that in mind?
To be honest, I think first, the most important one definitely is what came out of the meeting, the Constitution. So certainly we need to resolve that and get that sorted out. And then I think after that, we can then be able to then sit down and have a proper plan which says what we want to do. The outgoing committee already had quite a number of programs which are already running. So I think we don't need to disrupt anything. We may need to just adopt and see how they were doing it. Where we need to tweak things here and there, we can then see. And then definitely there's the issue of the missing members. So there's need for us to resolve that, co-opt so that we have a full committee, and then allow the committee to work. I don't believe that I'm a solution on my own. I do believe that we need to work together as a team. So that's why I think you notice in my closing remarks, I did emphasize that I hope all the clubs will participate in drafting or the changing the constitution so that it represents what is there. I think that is very important, because that will then guide us on the way forward. Probably after that, I'll probably sit down with you one day and say, here's my 100-day plan. But as of right now, I wouldn't say there's a plan, but certainly we do have key things which need to be resolved within the shortest period of time.
Okay, I understand. So first of all, conflict resolution and settle the matters, that the elephant in the room. Yes. Exactly. And then we'll get to the 100-day plan. Yes. No, I understand. Okay, thank you so much for your time, and once again, congratulations, Mr. Chinembiri.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now I go to drink and have a good time today.
Go and celebrate your victory indeed. Thank you.
Welcome again to another segment of the Hot Seat, sponsored by MNL and ably supported by GEMCON Consultancy. And now I'm joined by the outgoing Secretary General, that is Portia Chiwetu. We welcome you to this program.
Thank you very much.
Today we had the Harare Volleyball Association Congress, where amendment proposals to the Constitution were tabled, and also the elections of new executive members. What are your words concerning the Congress?
I guess what I would say is that, of course, things didn't go as planned in terms of the constitutional amendments, because we had, an issue with people not having gone through the amendments, not having gone through the constitution. So it really did derail the issue of the amendments. But nevertheless, these will continue in about a month's time, and I'm hoping that in a month's time, we'll be at a better place in terms of, having read and understood the Constitution and having been sure of how we want to go, especially considering how the election then went, issues to do with the Constitution and the nullity of certain decisions that had been made. So I'm hoping that this time around, people will definitely put effort into going through the Constitution and understanding the provisions and how, they envision everything going forward in the future.
What lessons can the incoming members can learn from your tenure of office?
I think what they can learn is having a unity of purpose and just working together as a team. I think for our outgoing committee, the bedrock of how we did things was, collectively making decisions, ensuring that we're on the same page in terms of understanding how we want the province to go forward, how we want things done, especially in issues to do with adherence to set timelines, set guidelines to the Constitution itself. I think it will really benefit them in the long run, knowing what it is they're supposed to adhere to, what it is they're supposed to do going forward. So I'm really hoping that, they take Harare province to the next level.
We know you, Portia, as a mother, and you are also a very busy person with the corporate world. How did you balance your jobs during your tenure as the Secretary General?
It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy, but sometimes you just have to, be able to commit to something. If you say, okay, this is what I'm doing, the province also has to move forward, work has to be done. I have to be there for my child as a parent, but just fulfilling the commitment that you've made. But I think what also just made it easy for me was having a supportive team where I was not able to do certain things. I could talk to the chairperson and say, you know what, I'm not available. Can you send this out for me? Can you do this for me? Or anyone in the committee. And I think that just helped things to move along. Just working together with the team members and ensuring that you've got somebody covering for you when you're not available, and then when you are available, you also do your part or cover for the next person when they're not available.
So from here, where are you going to now? From the Harare Volleyball Association Secretary General's post.
Well, for now, I'm going to take a well-deserved break. Just regroup and re-energize. Probably go back to focusing on UZ volleyball. UZ is my home. So for me, that's an opportunity to, go back and also try and improve on the work that is being done there by other people and see how we can also take UZ volleyball back to where it was, especially in the ladies' game. The men's game is going up, but the ladies' game has been lagging behind. So I'm happy this year that we managed to win the HVA Open, and so we want to build on that.
Thank you, SG, for joining us and also for great service to Harare Volleyball Association.
Thank you so much. We'll always be available to the new committee. If they need any pointers on the way forward or anything that they're doing, we'll always be available.
Stay tuned. That is your host, Thomas Mangwira. Welcome again to this episode of the MNL Hot Seat, supported by GEMCON Consultancy, your solution to town planning and construction. And now I am joined by the outgoing chairperson of the Harare Volleyball Association, Privilege Namburo. Privilege, welcome to this show.
Thank you, sir. Just a correction, it's now an ex-officio chairperson, not outgoing.
As you heard it, viewers, Chair, you are going out of the HVA with honor. Can you sum up your tenure as the HVA Executive Committee? Today, we saw the elections of some members, and some members will continue in the executive. But as the head, can you sum up?
Thank you very much. I'm Our tenure was not that easy. It required a lot of work and effort. But thankfully to the members, to the clubs that all participated to make it a bit better. You realize when we entered the office, there was issues pertaining to referees at one point, whereby if there was a tournament, you would fail to get enough referees. We looked at our strategy as an executive. We had been building on the development of especially referees. And if you ask me today, I'm a happy person, because when we started with a list of about 10, 15 referees, last year we trained 42 referees. This year, an additional 41. It sort of increased the pool so that at any given point in time, from schools to this, they are all now harnessed. We've also been working on coaching. This year we've managed to train 31. We're looking at the development platform now to say how do we grow from development. And these coaches, mainly those who were trained, 50-60% came from schools, which are primary level, most of them, where all the volleyball starts to be embedded within the youngsters. And I'm also happy on all these courses, coaching and refereeing, we've seen some athletes that think they're now about to retire, coming in to take those positions, which is a fulfillment of one of our vision to not let those to go and rest and not be seen anyway, but to give back and be part of the journey and the pathway for volleyball. Our tenure has seen some policies being crafted. For example, the player transfers. The issues when we entered the office, there were always fights in terms of, this is my player. But happy to say this year's registration did not see any fights, which is a graduation, not only for the executive, but also for all the clubs that they've embraced the policy and they've worked towards moving on a common goal. This is just a few. The website is up, still work in progress. Our social media platforms have been growing tremendously. When we came into office, we had only 900 followers and likes. Now we're sitting on plus 3,700. A lot still needs to be harnessed. A lot of work needs to happen. To get sponsors, they ask you, what mileage do I get? It was difficult with 900. Now we're getting there. But like I urged the other members, it's not only the executive, but all of us, we need to work together. Ex-officials, new committee, clubs, members, every stakeholder. Time to put our differences aside of the elections, work together for the common goal of developing our sport as number one sport in Zimbabwe, as the prime province in Zimbabwe that can lead and shine as always.
And what is your advice to the incoming chairperson?
My advice to them, remember, in my speech I had 10 points that were critical. One of them that I will still emphasize is, know why you are there on that position. You don't work in silos. Always engage your stakeholders, because you always need their support. You need to be working together to achieve the most common goal and to move forward. But above all, know why you've been put in that position. People have trusted you, so don't disappoint them, but know why you are there, work with them and give them solutions. Where you can't find a solution, engage them. You find most answers. It's better to come back to your electorate and ask, how do we move forward? Of course, the election, one or two technicalities. I must apologize to the candidates for first and second VCs. It was a minor technicality. Yes, there was a provision to do that, but there was also some missing links to then correct it. But however, we hope for the best. We hope they'll be nominated once again when the time comes on the next cycle, and they shouldn't lose heart. We love them in volleyball. They'll bring the best out of it.
The last 4 years has been busy for you. It has been an easy period for. It has been a very busy period for you. Where to from now?
The next couple of months is I call it my retirement time, but it's not retirement as such. It's like I need to rest for a while. I rest. I gave a joke the last interview I had with your colleague, where I said my cells now need to be recharged. I recharge. During that time I'll refocus and see what's next. But I'll still be in volleyball. Those who want to tap and ask me, I'll always be there for them. And we always see each other every now and then. Volleyball will be part of our lives as always.
Well, that was Privilege Namburo, the outgoing chairperson for the Harare Volleyball Association. Thank you, Privilege, for joining us here, and also good service to Harare Volleyball Association.
Thank you for having me, and Mr. Wangwiro, looking forward to seeing you more of your hot seats and those intriguing questions. Thank you.
Sure, I will do that. Thank you, Chair. Well, viewers, you heard it for yourselves as we talked to a number of people in volleyball as they unpacked the Harare Volleyball Association Congress, which happened at Mukushi Police Training Academy. And just a recap of the Harare Volleyball Association Executive Chairperson Shadrack Chinembiri, first Vice Chairperson vacant. The second Vice Chairperson remains Donald Chademana, and the Secretary General is the newly elected Stephen Charakupa, and the treasurer, there is still a vacancy, and another newly elected member is Peter Garwe, and another member incumbent in the office of gender minority is Jocelyn Muchenje. They still have to co-opt another member for the committee member. That was it for today's episode. Your host Thomas Mangwiro, and I was also joined by Kudzwa Ko, yours from MNL and Gemcon Consultants. We are out for now. See you in other episodes.